Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lions Den podcast, another Monday night football. We're here to talk about everything that happened in Leon's first game against Chivas, opening game of the jornada, what was Chivas? So we're going to talk everything about how we lived that game, everything about what happened, why was it a scoreless game. I think we're all, especially second half, pretty anxious for a goal, but we'll definitely get to talking about that. We'll also talk about the new kit because that was big news that we didn't get to talk about on Monday until Friday. So definitely Lou will give us more details in that because obviously he had to be the first one to get the kit. So we'll definitely talk about that. And we're also going to preview our next match against Monterrey. We'll have a special guest to help us kind of preview for that game. But we're waiting for Carlos to hop on, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Javier, Louis, how are we tonight?
Doing well, Kari. How about you?
Hey guys, doing good as well, I guess. I wanted to be Chivas, but
It wasn't a victory Monday, but
No.
I'm pretty sure we can still talk about a lot of good things that we did see in regards to Leon, kind of what we saw in the Copa Tetzel, and even though the outcome wasn't the greatest, we still were kind of like, okay, well, we know our team, we know kind of what the team was going to look like going into this Chivas game. So, guys, and just in regards to the lineup, were we surprised with any players that started?
Just Avion at first until we got more details about what had happened to Fernando Navarro. But I mean, other than that, I think it was pretty standard. I guess until further notice, Joel Campbell, who we'd speculated a lot about whether he'd be a starter or not, but he looks like he's going to be super sub first off the bench, at least for now. So other than that, yeah, it was pretty much what I expected. Except for maybe Armando Leon getting the call as a second strike, as starting up at second striker. Well, or both Nico and Armando Leon starting up top was a little bit of a surprise, perhaps. Might not be the case once Gigliotti is ready to go. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much what I expected to see, other than the Navarro, the Avion for Navarro. Then we realized that Navarro was going to miss a few weeks, so then it made a lot more sense.
Definitely. We got the news after the game that he did test positive, which I think we kind of figured just because of what Nacho Ambriz was saying about his symptoms and stuff like that. And then we also found out later that Nacho Gonzalez also tested positive. So I think just in regards to COVID, I think these things are going to happen. You know what I mean? But I think there's a right way to do it. And then there's just be transparent. And we're definitely I'm just going to say it. Chivas, what they did in regards to Uriel Antuna, I mean, that is just something that I think it's not something that's not going on around the world. It's going on in the world. It's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect teams. It's going to affect families. Why not just be transparent about it? Why, clearly he had symptoms and they still, he filmed like he was, I'm asymptomatic, I have no symptoms. And the contrary video footage said otherwise.
Yeah, I must say I'm a little concerned that, I mean, Fernando Navarro was convocado. I mean, he was in the 18 up, and I mean, he was on the list of the final list of players who were going to go to Guadalajara, which means he was training up until the last day. He tested positive. I hope this doesn't have further repercussions in the future, because he was around a bunch of players who are up until now healthy as far as we know. So yeah, that's a minor concern. We got to put that kind of out of mind for now, because we have to think more about how his absence over the next at least probably 2 more jornadas is going to affect the team's play and what they want to do. I do think that at this point the league's going to push forward no matter. I mean, Bravos and San Luis just played. If that doesn't show you that they're going to push forward no matter what, I mean, nothing will. And I think that's good. I mean, I may be in the minority. There are going to be people there who think, no, all sports should still be canceled. It was foolish to start them up again. I'm like, I've been here in Mexico this whole time, all these months without football, this entire pandemic. And frankly, living without sports didn't teach anybody anything about the importance of following simple safe practices to avoid a spread of a virus. So really, the only suspending and canceling at this point it serves no purpose. The only other option is to learn how to function alongside this happening. And players who get infected have to realize that life and sport and what they do goes on without them, whether they're infected or not. I mean, if they just cancel everything, it just gives them an out. We can't have that. We need to find a way to press forward and convivir with this virus, and I think that's what they're going to do. Isolate the players that have tested positive until 14 days, whatever, until they're ready to go, and that's it. Play with who you've got. Hopefully, it'll inspire players to, at least the players and the staff, the coaching staff, anyone around the team to take care of themselves, because if they have to be out because of COVID, their team is going to suffer. So hopefully that will serve as some sort of inspiration for teams to take all necessary measures to stay healthy.
Yeah, definitely. Javier, do you want to?
No, I pretty much agree with everything that's been said. Going back to the original question, which is if any surprises, it was just I guess Avion Ramirez, because I didn't know anything about Navarro. Why wasn't he even on the bench until I heard about Nacho Ambriz, and he had like a lot of flu-like symptoms, that he was sneezing a lot or something. And I think that was just it, because I had thought maybe instead of Leon, Ambriz would probably play with Aquino or Jefecito, but I wasn't that surprised as well to see Leon start up with Nico Sosa. And about what happened it's gonna be a regular theme, I think, throughout the whole league, the whole season. I think that's gonna be part of the whole how hard things are gonna be played. Like one day someone's gonna be tested, he's gonna be positive, and he won't be able to play. It's like an injury. It's just gonna be like another factor. Yeah, and I do think exactly what Louis said is spot on, that it's going to be up to the players to see how much they want to take care of themselves, if they want to just totally not even ever go outside when it comes, because there was rumors that they did see Joel Campbell in Plaza Mayor, I think last Wednesday, like around that, like midweek. I don't know if it's true or not, but I do think I don't know. There's something about maybe because you see other leagues and they've had the same problem. So, but for whatever reason, it feels like in Mexico it's a little more, right. It's kind of like,
yeah. I mean, any league that's not in a bubble scenario. Well, we're not in a bubble scenario. Like NBA and MLS have seen fairly little effect because they're in a bubble scenario. They've had there were a few cases before the MLS tournament started, but since it started, there haven't been any, as far as I know. And the NBA, they've been there a few weeks now in their bubble scenario, and I don't know of any cases reported. So there is a difference. There is a difference between, LigaMX is playing. Yeah, MLB is not in a bubble scenario, and they have had a bunch of cases.
Yeah.
So, and the LigaMX is not a bubble scenario. They're playing their regular schedule, going to every stadium, just no fans. That's the only difference. So, I mean, yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be something that's going to affect the entire season, but they have to push forward. They have to push forward,
and they have to look at things like Bundesliga, which I remember when Bundesliga was the first league to come back, right? And they were saying they were taking all the protocols into act, like mainly like when it came to hotels and where the players were going to stay, it was going to be every one player for each room. That was, and I think this is why I'm pretty sure Nacho and Navarro, why Nacho is positive as well, because I think that's why how they're doing it. Or same thing with Chivas. I think the players with Chivas, they had to I don't know who it was. I think it was Antuna or one of the players of Chivas also had to be separated because he shared a room with one of the positive.
Alexis Vega ended up testing
positive. And Alexis Vega.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I don't get. Like maybe Liga MX should really understand like what other leagues are doing that are their same kind of scenario. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna be one of those like factors, like an injury or whatever. It's just gonna
Because
be.
I feel like life is moving on, and life is
Yeah.
moving on with precautions measures and all that stuff. So obviously, you all of us might have already had it, and that's the same goes with
Yeah.
the players. And I feel like you guys said it well. It depends on the player how much they want to take care of themselves. Sometimes maybe they can't help it and they get it and they don't know why, because it has happened before. But I think they just have to be, I don't know, I think teams have to be transparent. If they lose 5 of their star players, too bad. You know what I mean? Like, you can't force a player to go and move. It's just going to be worse. So but yeah, hopefully a speedy recovery for Nacho Gonzalez and Navarrito. Back to the starting lineup, we had obviously Cota in goal. We had Avion Ramirez, which was our kind of hot topic in our group chat when we were watching the game. We had obviously William Tecillo, Steven Barreiro duo, Guillardo as a left back, Pedro Aquino, Chapito Montes, John Meneses, Angel Mena, and like Louis had mentioned, Nico Sosa and Armando Leon, which I was surprised they started again as a duo, which I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of it. I don't know if maybe it's just time-wise, but I don't know. I think to me, Nico Sosa was not my best, my favorite players to see out there. And Carlos just joined us. There you go.
Yeah, Nico definitely wasn't. I mean, we have our list of, hey Carlos, we have our list of más rescatables. The people who had as good a game as you can have in a 0-0 and a scoreless draw. And Nico definitely wasn't.
Obviously,
Nico definitely wasn't up there. Well, Mena goes without saying.
Yeah.
But Nico definitely wasn't atop that list. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but of course, it was his first regular season start, so
Yeah.
He deserves a little in his first regular season minutes, for that matter, except for those 5 minutes at the end of the Morelia win last season that got suspended. So the jury's still out on him, but he definitely didn't have. I mean, Avion getting his first regular season minutes at right back, filling in for Navarrito, had much more of an impact. It was much more noticeably effective and making a mark on the game than Nico was. But still, I mean, the jury's out really on both of them, because one good game doesn't make you a good player any more than a game where you basically go unnoticed makes you a useless one, So I think the jury's still out on both of them. But it was nice to see guys like Jairo and Tecillo and Pedro Aquino and of course Chapito and Cota, like, just not missing a step, doing what they always do.
Yeah.
Like, they were just there. They were just there doing their job, like the season had never been suspended.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see. But of course, they can only do two. They do 3/4 between them. They do 3/4 of the work. There still has to be someone there to finish, and the finishing just was not there, as we could plainly see. Yeah.
Which I kind of feel like we might need Gigliotti. Is that even how you pronounce his name? Gigliotti.
I mean, don't forget, Leo Ramos still registered with Leon, so we still have that option.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's the asunto of how many extranjeros can play at a time.
Yeah.
But in a vacuum, I would say that maybe Nico Sosa Gigliotti pairing might maybe complement each other a little bit more than Sosa and Leon, because I feel like they're two strikers that kind of want to do too much of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of like when Boselli and Cano played together. So
or Boselli
and Britos, although that seemed to work a little bit better.
Yeah,
they seem to complement each other a little bit more. But so I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like the extranjeros thing will maybe affect how many of these guys can actually be together in a starting lineup, or they might have to make adjustments elsewhere to make that happen. As you were alluding to, Javier, they had a lot of options with what they could do. They could have played with a doble contención, but they didn't do that. They decided to play with two strikers instead. Yeah. I mean, it was a very offensive minded lineup for sure.
Yeah. Chivas played with doble contención.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they came out to defend.
I mean, which we didn't expect. I don't think anybody really expected that, did we?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We were saying, well, Pachuca came out to park the bus, but Chivas won't do that. in Jornada Una, and I hope that's not going to be the
That's
strategy against us, because that's going to be a lot of hard games to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though in the second half, when they put in Jefecito, I kind of did like Chapo being that free. Like there was a play where, well, I think it was the second one that Mena, it was the clearest one that he missed. But I'm pretty sure it was Chapo who desbordó, and then he pretty much. But that's what I'm saying. Like whenever you play with those contenciones, I just feel that Chapo is more free, and that's why I like when they play with those contenciones. But I'm not mad at two forwards either. It's just I didn't like what I saw yesterday, I guess.
Although it's not that great to play with such an offensive-minded lineup and finish 0-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially second half. That's why our episode is titled "The Missing Angel," because Angel Mena was just back-to-back, like really right in front of the goal.
Especially the second one that came off a pinpoint pass from Avion. Like it was so. It was so.
It was Avion, not Chapo then.
And that's the moment when I realized Avion is gonna do well this season. Like I feel like I'm, maybe overhyping, but he looked más acoplado this game, and I'm feeling like he's gonna adapt very well. Como que agarró luego la onda of how Leon does interchange between positions. That was just like Leon has done that the past 2 seasons, and he did a move like that, and Jimena just had to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was disconcerting. We've never seen him so imprecise in his finishing, and it's just so funny to think if he'd finished, especially the first two. The third one, that was a pinpoint pass, but a really, really hard pass to handle. So I'll give him a little bit of a break on that one. But especially those first two, if he buried those, I just think of so many games. I remember specifically the game against America in the Azteca in the middle of the 12 straight wins, where we basically only had 3 shots on goal the entire game, and we buried them all. And the last 2 were Mena. Those were those were his only 2 shots. Those were his only 2 shots in the entire game, but he buried them like nothing. And as a result, that was one of the, we look at that as one of the most solid wins in recent memory. We'd be saying the same thing about this one if he had just had the same caliber of finishing. So it's really almost hard and almost futile to be critical of much of anything else. There's plenty of stuff to analyze, but to be too critical about it, I don't know, because just with those 2 poor finishes going a different way, we'd be talking about a completely different game.
Definitely agree. We have a couple comments. Chango Loco saying game was so boring.
I missed you, Chango Loco.
Norte saying Mena, man of the match.
Because he gave you 2 points.
And Jose, who cannot join us today, Leon seems to not know how to play with those puntas, who strikers. I'll see you all on the stream, guys. Hey, Jose.
All right, Jose.
Those puntas who play too similarly. Those puntas who play too similarly. Again, I would love to see a Nico Gigliotti pairing. I think that would be really interesting to me.
Yeah, Nico Gigliotti.
I don't know if it'll ever happen, but it would be interesting to me.
Why not? It wouldn't happen. It happened.
Well, because of the extranjeros rule, because you'd have to adjust the rest of the lineup. That's the only reason I say that.
Sell Ramos to Orlando or something.
Oh God!
No, but it's not just the match day lineup; it's how many can be in a starting lineup too. I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Carlos, before you jumped on, I kind of did your duty about lineup, but talk to me about the club team news in regards to the CEO.
Right. So there was a report last week. I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it was Cheque who posted it. About the CEO signing an extension with the club. Right after the whole Boca Juniors and the CEO saga that had us all nervous about the CEO. That was on my team news. And then I also had Leo Ramos and Gigliotti, who did not travel to Guadalajara. And also the fact that Nacho Ambriz highlighted that there were some cases of COVID present in León, but none of which affected that night's plans. And I actually think that they kind of did affect the plans because one of them was one of our starters, Navarro. But yeah, so I don't know, what do you guys think about Tecillo? I mean, I think that was the most important highlight here.
Well, you, Carlos, were more worried than anybody about how the situation would be handled and how it would affect his relationship with the club. And even if they did manage to keep him, that if it wasn't handled in the right way, that he wouldn't want to stay beyond even this season. And so I think this shows solidarity with the player. I think this shows how much he's wanted. I think they did everything they could the right way to show him how important he is. I hope so. I hope he is satisfied with how it was handled. And even if he wasn't, the fact that he's under team control for whatever it is, another 3 years is good for business for the team. I was very satisfied, not knowing the specifics of anything. I was pretty satisfied with what I read about how it was handled. I don't know what you guys think.
I was never worried. I kept telling you guys it's gonna be okay, even with Yairo. The reason.
But the thing is, though,
I know
we want to win a campeonato with this base of players that we have. We don't want anybody to leave unless they're campeón, because I feel like this team has been so meshed together very well by Nacho that we need a campeonato. After that, if Yairo, because we heard reports today about Yairo wanting to leave. I mean, well, teams,
No, not Yairo wanting to leave, but teams asking about him. I feel like there's an important distinction. I feel like there's an important distinction there, though. I feel like there's an important distinction, and also his agent then went on record saying that it would probably be a difficult move right now. I mean, he's in a good moment with Leon, and he's like firmly.
And I'm pretty sure he
was on contract with Leon, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was his agent who is saying, "Oh, there's two big Portuguese clubs." Look, of course, you know what I mean. Like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of teams in Europe are looking at Leon closely because it has been said that they're the team that's best played in the last couple of months, 16 months or whatever it is. So I'm pretty sure they're looking at them, but that doesn't mean there was like an offer or anything. And I do think it's mainly for eventually because there's no secret, Yairo wants to go to Europe, and I know.
Yeah, he said it before.
Yeah, it's no secret, and I'm pretty sure that's the same thing for a lot of our star players, right? And that's, I think, a plan that La Directiva and the players are working on. Like, hey, there's nothing better than you leaving Campeón because that elevates your stock, and it's in the best interest of everyone. So I don't think they're gonna leave. I think they're in the same. I don't know, like frequency with La Directiva about wanting to win a championship this season and then doing well in La Conca Champions. But yeah, it is kind of, I get you guys, because in the past we have done something like those kind of things before, where people just leave and you're like, but why? Well, that didn't make any sense.
Well, especially I feel like with the team that we have right now, in regards to, Tecillo, le coquetearon, you know what, renovaron. Now it's up to Yairo. What's next? Meneses? Don't touch my Meneses. Like, I feel like it's just gonna go down the lineup, and I'm scared.
Well, I'm sure Yairo's representation saw how the Tecillo situation was handled, and they probably want the same for their player. They probably want the same security. They probably want them to show the same solidarity with their countrymen. They're similarly necessary pieces.
He recently called up by Colombia, Yairo.
Yeah, they both have been called up by Colombia while members of León. And then, it's a blessing. As we've said before, it's a blessing and a curse to have so many seleccionados, because then you have teams knocking down your door in the middle of their unfinished business. I'm with you guys. Every player on the roster right now that's been with us since Ambriz arrived has unfinished business with the club. It would be a shame for any of them to leave before they get to lift at least one piece of silverware. I understand that this is a business and that those kind of deudas don't always end up having anything to do with player movement, but it would be a shame. I mean, I have no idea of knowing if these guys feel that same sense of responsibility to the fans, but we sure feel that responsibility from them.
Leon tattoo on his back.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I just feel like these players, I think they do see what the fans want, and I think they wouldn't want to leave without being campeones, especially being so close and playing so well. And it's kind of like I feel like everybody would want Leon to finish his era, the Ambriz era, with the championship. it would be one of those
And
things
I
where
feel
like
like having a coach like Nacho Ambriz, I feel like that's also why the reason they're staying. Están a gusto, son starters, they know they have the right mentality of a coach. I mean, that also reflects a lot. If not, a lot of them would have been gone.
Yeah, they trust the coach.
So
They believe in what he wants to do. They believe in his strategy. But going back to like the whole Tecillo thing and him resigning, I mean, after watching that game that he had on Saturday, what an amazing game he had. How many times did he save us?
he's
And
our backbone, Carlos.
a good amount.
Yeah.
And I would just say that I didn't think Barreiro did that bad. I'm just gonna say
he
it.
didn't.
He had
Actually,
one error. He had one error. But if
but
you
how many
count that
times
error,
did he?
As a Barreiro, he did all right.
How many times did he chase down? Did he chase down and shut down Macias cleanly though?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
With clean tackles, getting in there cleanly, but also just beating it. I mean, Macias isn't particularly speed is not, as they were saying multiple times on the broadcast, speed is not one of his best assets, but still, I didn't think of Barreiro as being able to chase down guys like that. I didn't think of him that much that way. And I thought he had a pretty good game.
He looked
I
skinnier.
think Barreiro is more effective on the 1v1 rather than in the open field because, I mean, if you look at it, Chivas had 2 attacking players and 90% of the time they were attacking just by themselves. Whereas let's say if you had like 4 guys attacking and they were all passing the ball back and forth, I think that's where Barreiro struggles a little more.
Yeah. Definitely.
Again, he's had too many errors to call one good performance like a return to form or an arrival for the first time to form for him. But let's hope that he can keep it up. I would still prefer Mosquera there, but he's not going to be the starter. So So our best hope is that Barreiro can maintain that level of quality.
Yeah, and get better. Why not? And score. The Chilena, I don't know. No, I'm playing, but definitely.
We're good, ahorita. No pidas agua right now.
Why, when it happens, remember I said it first.
I mean, he's still relatively young, right?
Yeah, he's like 26, 27. Which is that's pretty young for center back.
Yeah. So why not? Hopefully he continues to grow and get better. I think having Tecillo alongside of him could help him a lot. I did see a lot of improvement though.
Like Carlos said, Tecillo is just on fire every single game. Like I feel so confident with him. So we'll see what happens. Let's quickly move on to talking about the jersey before we preview the Monterrey match because we do have Patrick waiting. But okay, guys, let's talk about the kit quickly. Kit dropped Friday. Louis, as a huge fan, went to go pre-order a la Guarida. He was able to pick it up Saturday. You guys, I'm wearing the jersey. I had to. So let's just quickly.
I was there. I saw it happen.
Let's just quickly see the kit, the home and away. Pictures courtesy of Club León EN, and let's take it away. Guys, how do we feel about the home and away kit introduced by Birma?
Good. It's a good jersey.
Dude. That's it.
I mean, I think I'm sure Carlos thinks both of these options are far better than any of the ones from last season.
Yep. I think so. I mean, I think they're good jerseys. They're not over the top. They're not spectacular, and I think we all know why. They're just good. Yeah.
Because even in the second one, that's a beautiful jersey, but the cement dude didn't go along with the color scheme. And can you imagine if they would have gone along? I would have been like, this is the best jersey we had in 8-9 years. But no, it's always something. It's always a cement dude with his freaking MAGA hat.
But I mean, I pointed this out to you guys. It's like they probably get 10 times more money by having the guy colored, and that means we get
well,
to resign Campbell.
It's not even that. It's that when they sign a contract with a sponsor, the sponsor dictates how their logo will appear on the jersey. That's just kind of how it goes. And Cementos Fortaleza refuses to. If it were stenciled, if it were an outline, and the line, corresponded to the rest of the color scheme of the jersey, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Nope.
But they've refused to allow that.
But didn't Pachuca
unfortunately,
just have,
that's their right.
The outline? Didn't Pachuca just have the outline on one of their jerseys like a year ago?
Well, maybe they love Pachuca more than us, bro.
I don't know, but in any event, the Cementos Fortaleza logo corresponds much more to the Pachuca color scheme than it does to the León one.
Yeah.
It does. I feel like if the Cementu were, like you guys said, adapted to the color scheme, like the outline, I have no problem. Because, look, I always joke around about the Cementu, but hey, we get paid. Well, not us, but the team gets paid is what I mean. And, it is what it is. In regards to the home and the away kit, I really enjoy the material of the last year's kit. This one feels great as well. The other one, I feel like it's so soft. I don't know, Louis, correct me. Like, it's just softer.
Well, also, so I get the same size every time, but there's the consistency with their sizing changes dramatically from jersey to jersey.
Runs bigger, right?
Like my t-shirt size is a large, but with Firma I usually get XL because they often come muy reducidas, no? But last time I got an XL and it was like a pajama shirt, pretty much. But this one fits pretty justa, So you just never know what you're getting with it.
Yeah. But I do like the color scheme, the color of the it's like a more rich green for the home kit.
Yeah, I do like that. It's almost like going back to Esmeralda, right? Like
that's why I was like, I really like the green, that. Rich green. Yeah. But like me and Carlos, we just need the black one. It kind of goes with our day-to-day basis of what we wear, the black one, which should release this week to all Firmas. So...
Yeah, and to everyone who says, they copied LAFC style, like, no, you don't know soccer. There's so many, like...
Never use those colors?
Yeah, like...
Well, there were even people who were... There were even people who were claiming the number font copied LAFC, and they didn't realize that MLS on every MLS jersey uses the same number font.
Yeah. Who are these people? All these people.
Yeah.
Why can't we have
people just want to complain. People just want to complain. I understand they're fed up with the number of sponsors that we have. But there was all this chatter about how León can charge maybe 20 million pesos per sponsor on their jersey, whereas America can charge 100 million for one sponsor. It's because their team is so much more visible. Like, obviously we're going to have more because we need 5 to match the profit that they get from one. It's I get that people are fed up. I get that the Cementos Fortaleza guy is ugly. But
so
I don't know. I'm trained, I guess, now to look beyond the sponsors.
We're used to
the jersey itself.
We're used to it, and no matter what, we still go buy the jersey. So it's kind of like,
as I said, I said it I commented on several of the León unofficial pages, and I mentioned it in our chat too. I think that buying the new jersey every year is like renewing your Fierabono. It's a point of pride to stay up to date with the team, to show how much your club means to you. It really doesn't matter the aesthetic of the garment itself. Pasa segundo plano. To me it's not. The first part is much more important. I couldn't really care less what it looks like. As long as it's up to date with what the players on the field are wearing, I want it.
Well, I think Bima did a good job on the colors. I'm really excited about the home and the away. I just need the away kit. But yeah, guys, so that is their kit introduction of this season, which they did play with the home kit. I can't wait till they play with the away one. And
supposedly Carlos's favorite tricolor, yellow, green, and white, will remain as the third kit.
Yes.
So that's the best possible news anyone could get.
You love that jersey?
I hate that jersey, dude.
Man, I was gonna say, that's not the Carlos I know.
Nah, no
Yeah,
pasa eso.
unfortunately that one's stained, but I'd rather have that one over the barcode jersey. But that's a plática de otro día.
Yeah, you don't know what's good, Patty. You don't know what's good.
Oh my God.
Anyways, we
No one likes
have
that. Not even Leon fans.
Jose Barreiro shut my mouth on Saturday. If not for that one error, he would have had a perfect game. I prefer Mosquera though.
I agree with
And
you 100%, Jose. But they're not going to listen to us. They're not going to listen to us. For some reason, they need to play Barreiro.
But hey, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I said it on preseason. He looked pretty good. He looked pretty good this game. Let's give him más hope.
Yes.
Now moving on to a preview versus Monterrey. Actually, our guest commented, said, hopefully Angel remains missing for the game against Rayados. And with
Yeah,
that...
don't bank on it, brother.
Oh, man, why? That's not cool. He's el ángel del gol.
Well,
He's got a score. It's in his name.
With that comment, let's introduce Patrick from Rayados 90 to the stream.
Hi,
Patrick,
What's up,
how
Patrick?
are
Hello,
you tonight?
Patrick.
sorry for that comment, but I that's what I hope for.
Patrick, I had the honor to talk to you on Coffee with Gotti. We got talking about everything about Rayados, kind of the backstory. Obviously, you're working for Bain Sports and stuff like that, so I'm so glad I can have you back. But on the Lions Den podcast, talking about preview versus Monterrey, which unfortunately your game is until tomorrow for the first jornada. So I don't know how much you can tell me regarding how you see Monterrey, but maybe what you saw and maybe the temporada with Santos, the friendly that they had, and yeah, just talk to me about just your Monterrey team currently. What is the team looking like?
Yeah, well, thank you for inviting me. First of all, hi to everybody, and yeah, Monterrey, like you said, they play until tomorrow, so it's hard to preview. But what we saw against Santos was good. I think they left a good image against Cimarrones. Also, they had a good little scrimmage. But apart from that, it's complicated to give you more because it's been a kind of a normal preseason for Rayados, except for players with coronavirus, which hasn't been that bad also. So I haven't really felt anything new. I guess what's good is Sebastián Vegas is in now, and we have like a clean slate of players. Just have to wait and see how they look. Like I said, against Santos, they look really good, but it's a friendly, so not much I can take away from that. And apart from that, reports are looking good from the people that are there day in and day out, saying that the players are looking fine. So it just looks like a normal return for Rayados.
That's awesome. Now, just talk to me quickly about your latest signing, Sebastián Vegas. Were you surprised? Did you like it? Do you think va a aportar mucho en Monterrey?
Yeah, well, I love it because that's definitely something that we did need. Obviously, the defense was shaky, especially this last season that didn't end up counting. But we needed a defender. Sebastián Vega is one of the good ones in the LigaMX. Comes and we're excited. The fan base is excited. I think wasn't that surprised because they've been wanting him since last semester versus last off season. So it wasn't that surprised. They've been pushing for him for a while now. The move to Mazatlan or Morelia players to Mazatlan definitely. I think that made it easier for Rayados to come in and say, "Hey, don't go to Mazatlan." Finally come here because Morelia had been, been a good team with him there. So I like it. I just want to see him play now. I want to see him. We saw him a little bit in the friendlies, but I think he can. From what I heard or from what they've been saying, Turco Mohamed plans to use him as a left back more than a center back, so we can have Gallardo up top, since Gallardo is pretty good at creating chances up top, and I love that decision since obviously Banchioni left Rayados.
Yeah, Morelia's been a little too good for our liking, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I forgot what I was going to say. I just had a question and it just blew. In regards to kind of a new season for you guys, obviously from being campeón to having kind of like a really rough season, it's kind of like borrón y cuenta nueva. Do you expect a lot from your team? Do you expect them to land the first 10 spots or first four, or what is your kind of expectation of them this season?
It's a tough one. Like you said, they're champions last semester, and then this weird one that didn't count. They sucked. Rayados sucked, and that's not a surprise, Last place, couldn't score a goal. Everybody scored on us, and now it's impossible to say because we haven't seen a official competitive match for so long. The friendlies are good to see, but like I said, it's a friendly. Everything's so different, and I do believe as the weeks go on, and Monterrey should be up top the table. I wouldn't say top four just because of the last thing we saw, which was that horrible tournament. But yeah, I mean, top 10, top 8, top 6, they should be. I mean, they should be. It's a roster that should be up there. But like I said, since the last thing that I actually saw doesn't make me put them in top 4 because it's a roster that should be in the top 4 as well. But I'll say top 6, top 8 for sure. I think with the weeks going on and everything, it should be fine.
Definitely. Now in regards to this Leon game, you as a Monterrey fan, are you fearing this Leon, or are you like, you feel pretty confident about going against this Leon?
I wouldn't say pretty confident. I think Leon has been one of the teams that have been playing the best and consistent football for a few seasons now with Nacho Ambriz. Probably the best looking football with Nacho Ambriz, or at least for me. It's a thing of taste and what you like to see, and I like to see Nacho Ambriz and Leon. But I don't feel that confident. Leon has had one competitive match, so I've been able to see them a little bit more. I know the goal was missing, but I saw some good things from Leon. And when you get Angel back again, scoring and doing what he likes to do, then you should be fine. Now, I would say how confident I feel whenever I see Rayados. So tomorrow, now I will get a good sense of both teams and what they've done in their first week. But what I can see from the friendly, I think Rayados would look really good against Santos, and I don't know. I feel confident, but not that much. I think it could definitely be a draw, even Leon winning, and I wouldn't be that surprised just because of the last tournament that we saw from Rayados.
Yeah. Now, in regards to my guys, what 2 players do you think Monterrey should be looking out for coming match?
From Leon, right?
Yeah, let's do Leon first, and then you're going to give me yours. So either Javier, Louis, or Carlos, 2 players that Patrick should know, hey, Monterrey needs to watch out for these 2 players.
Well,
I was gonna say Mena.
But no, definitely Mena is one, just for the simple fact that he's got to shake off that performance, and hopefully he's going to come in with the mentality of wanting to shake off that performance, and he's going to be really hungry. So you can't not say that he's one. But you already know that under normal circumstances, he'd be a player to watch out for. I mean, he's been a top goal scorer since arriving here. But another one, I'm gonna go surprise and say Avion Ramirez.
I was gonna say that because he was incredible.
For the simple reason that no one's gonna be scouting him. Like nobody knows what he brings, and he had a really, really quite a solid game unexpectedly against Chivas, and if he can carry that over, I think he could surprise. He could surprise some people with his effectiveness.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Yairo. I'm going to go with Yairo. Yeah, just because he's just looking on fire after the first game of the season. And I think last season, if we remember correctly, against Rayados, he had a very good game as well. I remember that one shot where he had that one shot where he juked one of the defenders, and luckily Barovero just swatted it out. But I think Yairo is going to have a really good game.
I'll go with the
watch out for him.
The usuals. Chapo Montes. I think Chapo is always a player that you never know. He could just have a really, really amazing game. I always go with Chapo.
And he looked as good as we've seen him in recent memory against Chivas. Yeah. He really did.
I mean, he ages like nice. I sound like a broken record, but it's just
No,
amazing
and they've
what
been
that man
saying that
can do.
on Univision and or 2DN. They keep saying, "Oh, el Chapo's como el vino." You know, that's I'm like, hey, you're copying Kari. She said that first.
Maybe they were listening to me. Who knows?
Yeah.
I try not to listen to the commentary on Do the Edit, but that's just a personal preference. But I don't know, guys. I'm gonna go with Chapo as well because I think just the way he touches the ball is magic. It's como like Arquitecto Pirlo. You know what I mean? It's just fantastic. And I'm going with Meneses because I love Meneses. That man, I've said it before, he doesn't get tired. He's everywhere. Like he just amazes me. And hearing rumors about, teams after Yairo, hopefully they're not after Meneses. I'm below it. But I do think and we've said I think on podcasts that we have a lot of goal scoring options. So I think any team should fear any player on our team. Like Avion, Tecillo, Yairo, like you can pick any player in the lineup and it's a goal scoring option. So I think, just in that aspect. But Patrick, what do you got to tell us? Tell us what Monterrey players Leon should watch out for.
Well, like I said, I haven't seen him this first week, but a lot of the reporters, or all of the reporters actually, which is something that the fans haven't really taken that well, is that Aviles Hurtado is like on top of his game again for some reason. Everybody that's been watching him in all the trainings has been saying that. The fans are not reacting well to that because they think that our board is paying the reporters to say that, which is not obviously not true. And for some reason, the guys, everybody that's there says it. So I'm going to go with Aviles Hurtado. I think it's a surprise, but he's definitely going to start against Toluca. And I think he's going to start against Leon as well if everything goes fine, because we know he's a little injury prone. So that's my first one. And it's a player that I'm gonna look out for as well, because we haven't seen him in months, or probably even a year or something, a long time. But yeah, that's one. And then another one, I'm gonna go with Gallardo. He's one of the players that I've been, he's been growing into me as a fan, because he creates chances like crazy. And if Monterrey's creating chances, we have 6-7 players that can definitely finish them off. I mean, the amount of offensive power that Monterrey has, they can, the more chances, the more opportunities. And Gallardo is one that just creates and creates and creates and creates. So whoever's guarding him in that right side, tell them to look up for Gallardo.
Definitely. Yeah.
There you go. That's the matchup.
Just throw them in the flames, right? Just throw them against Monterrey. I mean, we have Absent Navarrito. He had a good game. I hope it's not over his head, and I hope he has a good game against Monterrey. But Aviles renovó, right, with Monterrey?
Yeah, so when he got injured, his injury was taking him past his date where his contract was up. So automatically has to be renewed for another at least 6 months, I think, or a year. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's renewed with Rayados.
Interesting. Okay.
We'll see. He has a new hairstyle. He looks confident.
New him, right? New him, new season. Hopefully shutting people up.
I don't know. Hopefully he does, because
I'm wondering
that's
if
something
that
that
ball
also
landed
Rayados
yet.
fans want.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that ball landed yet.
Oh. Hopefully he did, and hopefully he's back mentally. We need him.
For me, it's always Funes Mori, man. I'm always afraid of that guy. That guy, no matter, he always scores against us, at least one. Like, always, and I'm always afraid of Monterrey, man. I don't care. It doesn't matter how they're playing. I've been to 200 matches now. I've been going to matches for about 5-6 years. And I didn't see a league win against Monterrey until this most recent one. Like, I am always afraid of Monterrey. It doesn't matter what form they're on, they always give us fits. They're our Coco. We have teams that we always beat no matter what form we're on, and they always beat us no matter what form they're on, or what form we're on. And so I'm never ever confident. I'm never confident against Monterrey. I'm just wondering, for me, like Monterrey's bad canceled Clausura 2020 had so much to do with their finish to the Apertura, with so much activity that they had and no time really to recover from it.
Yeah.
Now they've had all the time in the world to recover from whatever. And so now, I mean, I would personally expect to see their best. I hope not, but I would expect to see their best. I don't know about you.
No, you're totally right. That was exactly what was needed for Monterrey, a long pause, restart. And, hopefully it wasn't that long or that much of a pause. It ends up taking away the competitive football away from you for a while. So I don't know. Like you said, that was the problem for that last for the Clausura. Hopefully that's taken care of. Everybody's rested. Everybody's back. And now with the weeks, like I said, with the weeks of competitive soccer, they'll probably be back on top like they should be. That's what I think and hope for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about their fans and our fans when the season got called off. I was thinking Monterrey fans must be loving this. This is the best thing that could have happened to them, because they would have, even if they'd won all the rest of their matches, they might not have made Liguilla,
Yeah.
Whereas we were on a great run of form and we were, we had started to rack up the points again and had a string of really good results, and then they cancel everything. Luckily, they give us the consolation prize of another CONCACAF berth. But we were still disappointed that we didn't get to finish what we started. So we have like a chip on our shoulder this season for that reason. But I was just thinking, Monterrey fans must have been the best thing for them. They must have loved that.
That was the best. Yeah. I gotta confirm that for you. It was.
Yeah.
Before we move on to possible lineups, Patrick, we presented our new kits, and you guys got new kits.
Yeah.
Are you happy with your new kits, or what's? Talk me just maybe a little bit about just the Monterrey kits. Like, what's as a fan, like, do you like them? Do you not like them? Like, is it more of the redundant?
I mean, Monterrey has hit the spot for a while now. I mean, the Club World Cup kits were amazing. The 75th anniversary kits, the special edition, are amazing. And this, like the official for the season, I love them. The home and away kit, which wasn't really something that had been going on before. So Puma and Rayados found a good rhythm now. So I'm very happy. And I wanted that new. I think I wanted both of them. It's not something that happened before, wanting both of them. This time I want both of them. I like it. The away one is pretty weird. We haven't had one like that for a while. It's like a very retro jersey, but the home, the little paintbrush effect of the lines. We had one like 5 years ago. I have it here, and just looking at them, it's horrible. The last one is horrible compared to this one. This is really well made. So I'm happy with
improved paintbrush, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy with Raya's kids for a while now. They've been just hitting the point, and this is another one.
Yeah, I think the retro one, the color scheme was kind of weird to me, but hey, why not? I think it works, right?
Yeah, it was like a little lighter blue, but what made it beautiful, and sorry, like to rub it in, it didn't have any sponsors, and Leon is like a lot of sponsors. But
we're a billboard, Patrick. We're a billboard.
Yeah, you guys are.
No, we're the yellow pages. The yellow pages, Cody.
Exactly. But this Club World Cup had zero sponsors, or one, I think, just one. So it's any jersey that doesn't have a sponsor is gonna look nicer. But yeah, I've been liking them.
Good to know another fan that is content with their kits this season. I was seeing the goalie kit for Pumas yesterday, like the hot pink. I was just like, okay, that's different. Very different.
I mean, or even like the America one, the little gray one, I liked. I don't know. I've seen some good designs this year for Mexican clubs, which isn't normal. Normally everybody hates their kids, so it's good to see a little bit of an improvement there. At least what I like, at least we're not like the MLS, which every kid is the same design. I don't like that at all. I mean, I like some of the jerseys, but I don't like that everybody has the same design.
Yeah. There's definitely a uniqueness to the jerseys. I feel like even the Ascenso clubs, like the crazy like print ones, I'm like, I don't know, I want one of those. And I saw someone on Twitter was selling one for like 400 pesos. I was like, ooh, maybe I'll just get it first for the design of it. But Yeah, I think it's great for Mexican clubs. I mean, everybody has their own style. I mean, and sorry, Louis, but the Chivas, not the away one, but the home one is pretty nice for them.
Yeah.
No surprise coming from you, Cardi.
Yes, Kari, and I'm wondering,
But no, I agree. I think this
Kari, real quick,
season.
what was that team that you like
No,
that
no,
was
no.
top
I'm
of the
just saying.
division? Is it Irapuato? Is it what team
No.
is it?
Look,
I'm playing.
Look, you guys know I respect a team that is full of Mexicans, but does not mean I'm a fan or my blood runs green, and that's till I die. So
There was already a team full of Mexicans. It's called La Selección Mexicana. That's the only one that there should be.
And they have
that's
green
my
like
opinion.
Leon.
And what'd you say?
They have green like Leon.
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, that's the only all Mexican team there needs to be. But I know I'm not in the majority with that way of thinking.
Okay, now let's move on to possible lineups. So either Carlos, Javier, Louis, what are we thinking about a possible lineup against Monterrey? Do we think there's going to be any changes in regards to Armando Leon or Sosa, or what are we thinking?
I think we're repeating. I think we're repeating.
Repeating, right?
Yeah.
Because if not, then maybe just
'cause-
probably dos contenciones if he tries doing something else. But if not,
Yeah,
probably the same. I do
Yeah, I
think
think we're repeating because we need Armando Leon in there for the minor rule, and for minor minutes. Because like, where else are you going to get?
Yeah,
them
that's
from?
the other thing.
So that's why. I
That's
think
true. That's true.
Isn't
but
the minor rule gone this season?
The minor rule is
For
gone.
the year?
Is it?
Good question. I'm not sure.
I think it is. I think it's like gone for a year. So, but anyways, go on.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I just think we're repeating lineups.
I think regardless of the minor rule, we would probably repeat. We obviously know that that Navarro will not be back yet. So Avion will be in there. I don't think he's. I mean, after a scoreless draw, I don't think he's going to put out a more defensive-minded lineup than he used in match day one. I just don't see that happening. So I don't think he'll go with the doble contención. Even though, like you say, Javier, it gives Chapo a little bit more freedom to stay in the attack. But I think we'll see the same lineup at least to start. The rotation could change. The subs might be a little bit different, especially if Gigliotti is ready. If Gigliotti's ready, I'll bet he'll see some time, but I don't think he'll start.
And then again, there's 5 subs, so I just feel like maybe I think Ambris is probably he's I think he's still trying to figure it out, and while maybe Gigliotti is ready or whatnot, but I do think he's gonna repeat. As of course Avion Ramirez because of Navarro, but yeah, I agree.
I would like to see Joel Campbell start this game. So that is one of my hopes. And to confirm that, yes, Scotty is right. The rule is gone. So there's no minor minutes.
Or so they would know.
Because I've heard it before and I've seen it and I was like, wait, I think it's gone. So yes, confirmed it's gone. But yeah, I really want to see Joel Campbell start. Hopefully he starts. Maybe if Gigliotti is ready, maybe we'll get a couple minutes. Again, Nacho Ambriz has a lot of options on bench. Obviously, with the 5 substitutions, it gives more room for that. Without, I mean, as long as you don't disorientate the game so much by doing all those subs. But I think for the most part, Leon will keep a similar base, maybe 2. I see maybe like two changes, but we will see. So that's kind of our Leon sides. Patrick, can you give us a possible lineup of what we could see? Obviously, just guesstimate at this point.
Yeah, because they still got the game for tomorrow. So I know the possible lineup for tomorrow, and I'll tell you that one, and then I'll tell you what I think it will happen against Leon. So it's Hugo Gonzalez, Stefan Medina, Nico Sanchez, Cesar Montes, Jesus Gallardo, Celso, Craneviter, Charlie, Avilés, Abon, and Funes Mori. With Vincent Janssen and Sebastián Vegas going out of the convocatoria to the stands because Janssen had coronavirus, so he's kind of catching up to the team now. He's still got like a couple of days to catch up, and then Sebastián Vegas also joined later, so he still needs to catch up a little bit. And then for the second week or against Leon, I think he'll definitely repeat lineup. But now, what I don't know is what will happen with maybe Avilés or Pavon, depending on how the first game goes, because I think Sebastián Vegas will start and he'll take that left back. So that means Gallardo will go up to a left winger position. So that's what I think. There's not, like I said, since they haven't played this first game, it's impossible to guess. But and then Jansen as well, he'll be back. He'll be part of the rotation. I don't think Jansen will start because for some reason, as long as Funes Mori is breathing and wearing a Rayado shirt,
it's either or, right, Patrick? It's either or.
It's either or. It's either or. Mohamed has not said it like directly, but he's been winking to that direction that it's he'll play with one of the forwards. Which I mean I get it because it's a lineup that offers you so much, and you don't want to sacrifice one of the possible wingers or that guy behind the striker to have two forwards. I don't know. I want the two forwards, but it's complicated, and I get it. But I mean Jansen, I mean that's a talent that we have on the bench. Good for a super sub because that's definitely a super sub. But we want to keep him happy and not want him leaving the club, you know. So yeah, I think he'll repeat for the Leon game with Vegas in it, and maybe dropping Avilés or Pavon. It's just a wild guess right now. So after tomorrow, we'll know a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I guess for the aspect of the two strikers, we kind of have the same issues, but I feel like in regards to Monterrey, it really is either or. I really like Jansen just because of the way that he just holds the ball, the way he's very discreet. And Funes Mori says it like another matador. So it's complicated. It's like, you know, what a problem like that to have a Monterrey, right? You just
I know because Avilés, apart from Funes Mori and Jansen, Avilés, Dorlan, Akelova, Maxi Mesa.
Akelova too. You can't forget about Akelova.
I mean, there's a lot of talent that can play up top. And most of those people that I mentioned can play in a lot of positions. So it's wonderful. It's an amazing problem to have. But I want Jansen playing a little bit more. That's hard to put him against Funes Mori. I mean, more than 100 goals for the club, a legend already. It's hard, and I get the decision, but we'll see. We'll see. This season, I think, will be crucial for that, for Jansen, and to see if he stays or not. I think that's a possibility if he doesn't get the starter, the starting spot.
Yeah, definitely. We have Jose giving the lineup is Cota, Ramirez, Barreiro, Testillo, Jairo, Mena, Chapo, Aquino, Meneses. He also says Campbell starts and Sosa. That'd be interesting lineup. I feel this game is just cooking up to be a good game. Obviously, with two powerful sides, you see the attack on the Monterrey side. We see our attack, so it should be a pretty good game. Which I hope there's lots of goals because that's what we kind of missed out on versus Chivas. But let's just go on.
I think we all miss screaming a goal for a team. Celebrating again. So hopefully, at least. Monterrey celebrates a little bit more, but hopefully you can celebrate with a couple of goals. I mean, we have Hugo Gonzalez on goals. And you know how he's done before with the Rayados.
Also, in the last couple of years, since Ambris showed up, we haven't been held scoreless in very many games. Maybe like three or four. That's it. So yeah, we're not used to that. We haven't been used to that really in a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll let Patrick celebrate a goal, but as long as we're up like 3-something, that way it won't affect us or anything.
5-1.
So
El gol de la honra at the end. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and go to prediction time. Let's go to prediction time, Javier, your favorite segment. Let's start with you. Give me your prediction for León versus Monterrey. Go ahead.
I think it's gonna be close, lots of goals. Not 5-1. Don't worry, Patrick. I was playing, but I do think it's gonna be like. Well, look, I want León to win 3-2.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
3-2. Louis, your prediction.
I'm gonna go with 3-1. Same score as last time they played. I think Mena comes back with a vengeance. I think it all comes together for Leon at home in their first match at home. And my opinion could change drastically after seeing Monterrey play for the first time tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's my prediction for now. 3-1.
Luis says 3-1. Carlos, what is your prediction?
High scoring game as well, 3-2 for Leon. I think last season Rayados just had a terrible season, and I think this season they're out to prove something. So they're going to be better than last season, the Monterrey that we faced last season, but not good enough to beat us. So 3-2.
3-2. Respectfully.
No offense.
Patrick, your prediction.
Well, I agree that Monterrey has something to prove for themselves, and also Gonzalez in his return to Rayados. Aviles Hurtado has something to prove as well, coming back to the starting lineup. Jansen coming off the bench will have something to prove. We have a lot of people with chip on their shoulders, so that's what I think. Hopefully, can be in our favor instead of weighing them down. We'll see how they take it, and I like all the predictions with 3 goals, 3-1, 3-2, because I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, both teams have great offenses, so definitely going to be goals, and I'll go through for Rayados. We'll win.
Said 4-2?
3-3.
Oh, 3-2. Okay.
I got to see them play. If they play great tomorrow, I'll go like 4-1.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my prediction from the Chivas. I'm gonna say 3-1. So I just need my Leon to get a good game going. 3-1, and I think we have comments on the chat. Chango Loco says 1-0. Oh, Leon wins. That's super conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably based on the last game where we predicted a high scoring game and then it ended 0-0.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's what
Tom
had predicted. Jose says 2-1 Leon wins. Okay, conservative. David Johnny says Leon all day, and he also says 2-1. I don't know, guys. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I'm excited. I'm kind of wanting to see where Monterrey's at. Obviously, I'll be watching the game tomorrow against Toluca to kind of just see where they're at. But I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think it always is when we play. I mean, let me throw some shade. It's a better game to play Monterrey than Tigres, honestly. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. But
put it this way: when Monterrey and Tigres play, I want Monterrey to win.
That's great.
That's all I gotta say. I'm never gonna forget that point final. That's it.
Perfect. And it's probably gonna be raining tomorrow for the Rayados Toluca game. So hopefully we don't get any injuries for Rayados, and hopefully it's not like too wet where you can't even play soccer. But yeah, that's something to watch for this game.
Yeah, definitely. Predictions on the screen. We'll see who is right next week. That is all I have, guys. Huh?
Tom said 2-2.
No.
Tom always says 2-2.
Oh, he said 2-2 for last game, but
yeah,
he should have said 0-0. He probably would have got it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys. So that is all for today. Talked about the recap versus Chivas. Talked about the new kid. Talking about just in regards to what's going on with COVID in regards to our players. Obviously, there's been a lot of changes with the schedule regarding team. A lot of players on teams testing positive. Today was a 3-game match day because some of the games got moved. Obviously, the Monterrey game got moved. But lots of soccer during the week. But hopefully we pray that our players stay safe in regards to injuries and just getting sick. Hopefully they take care of themselves. But Patrick, I want to thank you so much for joining us and previewing the game against Monterrey. All the best to select your team this season.
Thank you, you too. And no, thanks for having me. I had fun, and I'm always following you guys on Twitter to see what Leon is up to. So continue to do that. There's definitely some great content out here.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And if you guys want to know everything about Monterrey in English, follow Rayados at Rayados90. Eddie, I still have to meet Rompas. I still have to meet him.
Yeah,
I've never met him. So, and then Patrick, they do a weekly podcast regarding Monterrey. They have awesome guests. They've had Rodolfo Landeros. They've had all these kinds of awesome people on. So definitely catch them on. Are you guys on iTunes? Right? iTunes, Spotify.
Yeah, everywhere.
Awesome, everywhere. So go ahead and follow, and you can please follow Patrick. He's a funny guy. He posts the randomest things. I wake up to him, I'm like, what is Patrick posting today? He's on top of everything. So follow him on the screen.
Awesome. Thank you for that shout out.
Of course. And for everybody else, thank you guys for watching tonight. As always, we are streaming on Periscope and YouTube at the same time. So for those who watch us on those two streams, thank you. Definitely can follow us at The Lions and Podcast on Twitter. Open up your cameras, scan the QR code, and you're there. If you can follow La Porra de los de Arriba Oficial. Scan the other QR code on the screen. As you can see, next match day is next Monday. Leon will play home, 9 p.m. Central Time. Chango Loco says, is there a podcast next Monday before the game?
That was my question, Chango Loco.
No. We will figure out something, Chango Loco. We'll figure out what we're going to do because Leon will play homes on Monday, so we'll figure out kind of how that works since we record. But anyways, that is all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Lions Den Podcast, episode 37, A Missing Angel, which I hope Angel Mena returns at his best against Monterrey. Once again, thank you everybody for watching tonight, and we will see you next week on another episode of the Lions Den Podcast.